All right, folks, let's catch up on the Blitzkrieg legend. Finished off the 16 May turn. And as expected, let's wander over here. As expected, you can't see it yet, but you will at the end of the next turn. The Dutch have surrendered. So the units cannot move or attack. They will remain on the board as roadblocks for the Germans. The Germans can attack them, and they will defend. The air, their SPs and their transports, they function normally. So I imagine, well, they don't really have any air. They're going to lose, the Allies lose one of their reserve markers. They can blow their dumps, or they can transport this crap out of here. I don't see how they're going to do that, considering the Germans pretty much own the only point out of their northern part of the country. So they'll probably try to blow their dumps, and then at the end of this turn, when I'm done, the Dutch will come off the map, and the Germans will have to remove 10 steps. This is for garrisoning. And I think the priority has to go to the 7th Fallschirmjägers and the 22nd LL. So, and I'm pretty sure they have enough steps themselves to handle that. And now those German forces, which weren't massive up here, but you have an SS unit, which they were really not the best in the business. But you've got 9th Panzer, and you've got a mech unit that can, or motorized unit that can turn back towards helping with France. So, yeah, pretty much write the Dutch off. Like I said, the combat troops aren't going to be able to do anything this turn. They just sit there. Let's move back over here. So we had to pull back, try to save some of the Belgians. Needless to say, a boatload of them got knocked off. One of their cab divisions pretty much wiped. Another one scrambled, got out back there. So we're trying to get them out so they can at least help, or try to get them back towards Antwerp to defend that little corner there, because nobody's going to be able to bypass around the edge. So maybe if they can defend the Antwerp area with some French support there, and then you got the Brits sitting in the middle. Well, the Brits are about to lose a 3-stacker too. Let's see, where did he go? Actually, I think they already did. Yeah, they did. Those guys got up in the front and got caught, and I couldn't give them no fuel to get out. And they ended up under the attrition, getting smoked. So, and the Belgians lost quite a few also. All right, so you can see the pullback in front of Antwerp and Brussels. The Brits are still sitting around Brussels. I got to try to strengthen that up a little bit, which means bringing more of this stuff probably to the front, which I didn't want to do, but it looks like that's going to be the only option. So now I need to protect these ports. And don't want to because the Germans probably start bombarding them here shortly to eliminate supply coming in. And as you can see by where the breakout was, and let's put the camera down here. Try to anyhow. So we've got where the breakout is. The Germans are across, and of course you can see it's a whole bunch of Panzer divisions and a motorized division. And some of the infantry starting to get up there. Not a whole lot of it really, really close. And there's no rail going across here. I got to clear out something to get a rail line going across, or else I'm going to have some serious supply issues. So somewhere I got to break something out. I don't know whether to turn to the left and go south, or turn to the right. That's a tough one. South is probably the easier course. Turning this way is probably the easier course, and then maybe clear out near Charleville or whatever this is over here. It's a lot more of the Ardennes over this way, so it'd be a tougher fight. But you can see I'm starting to pull in all the French resources that I can from behind the lines. Try to rail a bunch of stuff up, which, if you rail one massive infantry unit up, you just burnt up all 4 rail points in that move. They really still don't have an issue with supply. I did do quite a bit of bombardments over towards in the Dutch area as just a last ditch effort to cause some damage, and I think they think they DG'd a unit. That was about it. Outside of that, nothing. So, haven't rolled to see who's got the initiative on the next turn. As a matter of fact, we'll just go ahead and do that right now. We will roll for the initiative for the 18th of May turn, and the initiative goes to. Oh, we have to roll again. Initiative goes to the Allies, so they got lucky. They will get the act first, which could really bail them out because these Panzer divisions are, well, they got a couple of gaps in there. So see if maybe the French can't isolate some of that stuff in that area. Another thing I'm considering with the French is maybe taking a test run at caving in this southern flank of the German line here. Only problem is while the French have some very good sized units, their AR ratings they stink. They're terrible. And I really don't have any mobile forces behind them to put into reserve to move in case there is something broken open. So I don't know. I mean, so now it's either do that or do I start to give up the Maginot Line? Do I give up protecting Metz and Verdun and just start pulling these French units back and not allowing them to get to Paris? Each one of these, Verdun and Metz, are victory locations. I need to look at the victory conditions because I'm not sure that actually causes a victory for the Germans. But I'm going to look into that before I make that decision. And like I said, I'm just trying to pull every French unit I can, trying to pull them up and see if I can't slow this pocket down. Still a lot of German units that are pulling forward. Supply's probably going to get a little tighter because, like I say, I don't have a rail line going across up there. So I've got to use, those Panzer units aren't going to get too much farther out unless I can get some connection there. Because even, I think if I flip, there's a headquarters, if I flip him over underneath that one supply, he's a 10. His throw range will be a 10. So there's not going to be a big, massive amount of distance. And, I mean, there's a major road there, so that'll help. But I have to work on how I'm going to develop that. I don't know. I think it's going to depend on what I do with the French on this turn as to what I can do with the Germans, because they've got everything in the middle here is moving forward. And I don't know, that hole is dangerous over there. But like I say, without the ability to move supply along a rail line to get myself one of those drop hexes up there, detrainables, I don't know how much farther they're going to go. Unless I keep constantly airdropping, which is, I think the most I can probably drop is 2. And then do we shift gears and don't really have a whole lot of mobile stuff here in the middle, but do I start putting pressure on Brussels or that gap between the French and the British that are in Brussels? All right, so now we're going to drive on with this. I'm going to get started on this turn right here. I wanted to get this shot because I put the half turn one up. So for common note, Holland has surrendered, and at the end of the next turn, they will no longer exist, and the Germans will own it. The Belgians are beat up pretty bad. The Brits have now taken losses, and they're about to be confronted. And the French line, well, the line's not bad, but that pocket over there is a problem. Let's see if the French can deal with that. And I would think that if they can deal with that, it might just completely stump the Germans. It might just completely stop them dead in their tracks. There's quite a few forces back here that could be used. So if all they have to do is focus over here, that could be a plus for the Allies. All right, so maybe to avoid that happening for the Germans, I'm going to have to push along another point here with the German forces. And then, of course, these guys will be shifting down from up here. So that'll be a help too. All right, let's get this thing posted so y'all can see what's going on. All right, we'll talk to y'all shortly.